Alright, and we're back again. So I've got everything sort of properly set up now, and the decks have all those things shuffled in, and everything's ready to go. So just to remind everyone that the purpose of this game is for Spazz and Wappy to try to escape from the building. So currently they're on the first of 3 levels. This level's mainly populated by the Privitron Push employees who are like any kind of work drones. They're just there for the paycheck and not really too concerned with what's going on. But as they get to higher levels, they're going to encounter lawyers and apes and things which are more aware of what's going on. A little bit more will be a little bit more difficult to fool. So here now is where we left off. Wappy had just gone through the hallway. Remember, he went to the cafeteria, which may seem a bit disappointing because he didn't have any money to buy anything. However, at least he's getting rid of one of those cards, the room cards, because there's a deck of room cards here. There's 12 on the first level, and one of the last 5 is going to be either an elevator or stairs to take him to the next level. So Wappy's now. So after they've done their turn, we have to come over here and we take one of these event cards labeled event. Flip it over, and it says Whispers +1 Stranger Danger. Now, Stranger Danger is a mechanism to represent the suspicion of the employees, and to when they get too suspicious and too freaked out by these weirdos running through their building, they will set off the alarm. And when the alarm sets off, that's when things start getting really hairy. I mean, like literally hairy, because the gorilla apes, the apes start coming after them. And Spazz and Wappy, we're just a couple of regular humans. We're not even like supreme physical specimens of humans. Pardon me, this isn't any kind of funky jelly that's antibiotic cream. So I'm just using these to represent Stranger Danger for now. Ultimately, I might like to do like one of those funky dial things like you see in Lord of the Rings card game or something like that. But so +1 Stranger Danger. I'm just going to put it up there to represent 1. When it gets to 5, every time there's 5, it's the alarm will go off. And when the alarm goes off, then that's when security apes start coming in and things get really wild. And Spazz and Wappy are running for their lives. When it reaches 30, that's when Spenskura will come. And Spazz and Wappy are really in trouble at that point. So now I forgot to... Here are their decks as well. So here's their hands that they've drawn. So Wappy has... I think you misheard. So to be able to reroll bluffs, so it's a logic. It says logic or, so we can use this to initiate a logic challenge or to reroll, but not both. Primal and also to discard an injury. What would Wappy be without a Great Caesar's Ghost card? This allows him to reshuffle his whole hand. This is reshuffle 1 from the discard pile and redraw, so it helps a little bit. Then there's one of his Lewis Brenton cards, the Deus Ex Machina. Primal logic and or. So this is a great card. This allows him to really just dictate my next roll is, and just name the highest roll possible. And this is not limited to just him. He could dictate the roll of his opponent as well. Like pick whose roll he's going to dictate and make sure that he is successful. Okay, and Spazz. Well, Spazz was hanging out with the Woolley brothers, so I got the Woolley, a lot of things in here. So Divergent Thinker, so this one's kind of cool. So Spazz is rolling and rolls like a blank on the red dice. With this card, he can flip it to the other side, make it a 2. So whatever the flip side is. Now, unfortunately for the 3s, both 3s are on their own flip sides. Shortest attention span, so if used to make an enemy re-roll logic, and that card we saw with Wappy's there to re-roll, and another Stephen Woolley one. So I can Spazz and Wappy. So here's the 3 dice in the game: blue, red, and green. Blue is the worst, red is better, green is the best. Wappy rolls blue for primal, red for logic. Spazz rolls blue for logic and red for primal, and green would be something that comes later with better attacks, and a lot of the apes will roll green, so that's why they're so deadly. But this one Spazz can use to roll red for logic and blue for primal, by using this card. It makes him a little more flexible. And then a Jonathan Woolley card, where he can, instead of discarding a card, put it back into the deck, shuffle it back in again, which can be really important because a lot of things just burn through the deck, and that's hard on. If they run out of cards, they're really done. They're really done. Okay, so getting on with the turn, Wappy is going to proceed. 1, he's going to come through the door there. 2, and so drawing a card from the top here, and it's a cubicle. So we're going to put the cubicle down, and Wappy's in a cubicle now. And now we're going to draw, and there's a privateer press employee. So the employee matches the cubicle, so therefore she is in the space. She is there. Well, actually, you know what I'm just realizing? I didn't draw any employees for the cafeteria. So if she was drawn for the cafeteria, it says to be in the cafeteria, it has to be anybody with a mouth, and she's mouthless. So because she's mouthless, she was not there in the cafeteria. So that was the cafeteria space. So I'm just dropping stuff all over here. And so I'll draw the next one, and it's an Intel ape. And he is not matching the cubicle, so he's not there either, which is good because Intel apes they're one of the most dangerous opponents in the game, especially on these lower levels, because they know everything. They know that Spazz and Wappy are prisoners. They know that they've gone missing. They're the only ones who know right now. Well, actually, they don't know. Once the alarm has gone off, then they'll realize they've gone missing. But that's represented by their paranoia values. See, paranoia 5. Okay, so nobody's there, so Wappy went 1, 2 into there. Because there's nobody in there, he'll search the item deck, and there's Intel. And found in offices, control rooms, and cubicles. So it matches the room. Cubicle, found in a cubicle. And so we can now look at the ability. Turn over the next 3 cards in any one deck and put them back in any order. So now, any deck. That means Wappy could do that to the employee deck, he could do it to the room deck, or he could do it to, his draw deck, or the event deck, the door deck. So I mean, he can pick a deck now and choose the next 3. I think what we're going to do, Wappy is going to do, is take the 3 off the Intel deck here, 1, 2, 3, off the item deck, and there's big bucks, a building map, and just what I was looking for. So these 3 things, put them back in any order. Okay, so now this one's going to look at rooms, which can be very helpful, and then that one's also helpful, so we'll put them back in that order. There we go. Good job, Wappy. And then Spazz is just, he has nothing to boost his movement. Sometimes you have some cards that can boost movement or things like that, which he does not have, so he's simply going to run 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we draw an item, an event rather, and someone's coming from the front. So this is the front, and this is from behind, so we're always going this way. So somebody's coming from in front, and now it says there, like, employees and security. What I've done, I've mixed it all into one deck now, just make it easier. So oh geez, okay, well, Intel ape. So there's an Intel ape. This is a female Intel ape, and she's coming now. So best that Spazz gets out of sight fast. So she's shown up. She's just appeared there. She doesn't move yet. So now we go back to Spazz and Wappy. So now the danger is if Spazz goes through the wrong door or something, then he could, create a commotion, which is then going to attract the attention of the Intel ape, which is then going to attract the attention of security. So he has to be a little bit more careful. So what we'll do is we'll use Wappy because he's better with the logic. He's going to go 1, 2 down here through this door and see if he can find a safe place for him and Spazz to hide out. Alright, cool. So they're in the men's washroom. Better the men's washroom than the women's washroom, because if there's any women there, then that could be bad. So Wappy's in there, and so now we're in a room, so we have to draw an employee. Oh, that's the room card. We're going to draw an employee card with a green dot. Flip it over, and there's a grunt ape, and it's a male. So he is in the washroom. Okay. Now apes in the washroom, yeah, they're meatheads. They're not going to, perform any logic tests there. So, yeah. So these, because it's a public area, Spazz and Wappy are both allowed in the washroom. And going to there. So now the Intel ape is going to go 1, 2, 3. Now, with her moving, if there was any room that belonged to her, like if she fit the room, like for her it would be a control room, she would deviate course out of the hallway into that room. So say, for example, that she wasn't an ape, but in fact a PP employee, like the girl up there, she would have gone 1, 2, and then 3 up into her cubicle. So that's... now, we don't know what these rooms are, so this may be a control room here, but because we don't know that yet, she can't go there.